All right, we're technically live. We're gonna wait. Oh, this is already here. What's up, dude? Making some dinner. Okay, cool.
Hell yeah.
Welcome to Jump Island, episode 2. My name's the Keyboard Warrior. Of course, the one and only Dave Madden from MMA Storytime.
Hey, what's up? What's up, man? Yeah, no, I was stoked you asked me to get on. I saw some of Jeremiah's episode, and so I was like, oh, that's cool, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So, all right. So, like, and you'll see. I don't know if you ever watched Inside the Actor Studio. James Lipton. You ever watched that?
No.
Okay, so James Lipton is just like, well, he just not too long ago, so rest in peace. Literally like a month ago. But he was an old dude though. He used to host this show called Inside the Actor Studio, and he brought in actors, and he was researching and everything. So they would be like, he would be like, well, you were born in this place, right? And they look at him like, how the fuck did you know? You know what I mean? Like shit like that. So I'm not that, but it's kind of like that. We'll just jump in to your MMA journey and all that, how you got started on MMA Twitter, all the stuff you've done, the ups and the downs, and at the end, and since you didn't watch, you didn't know who James Lipton was and this whole thing, there's actually a 10-question questionnaire that he used to do at the end of every. It's actually super interesting. We'll do that at the very end. Okay. But let's kick off with MMA. What was the first? What got you to watch MMA?
Yeah, so hey, I've been around since UFC 1, but I didn't get to see it like pay-per-view 1. But my buddy, he found somehow, I don't know where he got it, who cares, because I loved it. He found UFC 1 on VHS tape, and I got to see it. I was a freshman in high school. So it was like, 94. So soon after it did come out. And I didn't even realize, it's number 1. I just see these two guys about to fight. And I thought it was fake. And you know what I mean? At first I go, what, oh, this is going to be fake, whatever. And then they started, I was like, oh shit, that's fucking rad. So, I just have, stayed with it. I wasn't ever like rah a fighter per se, but I just kind of followed it. Every time I went to Blockbuster, I was picking up a tape. And it's kind of funny because my mom, who is kind of a helicopter parent, and kind of watched over a little close and didn't let me do certain things, but let me do others. And she never cared. She saw I was renting these tapes, and she didn't ever care. I think she thought they were wrestlers. So yeah, so it was kind of fun. And anyways, yeah, I just kind of stuck with it. I didn't really get deep into Pride, in those. I saw them, but again, it just kind of blurred together of like, these dudes are fighting.
Yeah. So, everyone's got this story. One day I was just watching this shit. Is this real? Like, and you go off on that. A lot of people jumped on it with some fighter. So, all right. When did you start? At some point, we all start watching this. Like, oh, this is and at some point, watching, reading articles and stuff. When did you start wanting to get involved in like MMA media world?
So where I'm at I'm in, like right near Sacramento. I'm in the Northern California area, and there's a morning talk show. I love these guys. I'm sure you can listen to them anywhere now because of the internet. But they used to be called Rob Arnie and Don. Now they're called Rob Anybody and Don because poor Arnie got the axe. He was I like him, but he was just kind of like a super negative guy, and you could tell he brought a different dynamic, to what they were doing. But I liked him. But anyways, I really enjoyed that show, and I'd listen to that shit endless. I'd listen to the reruns. I just really enjoyed them. And so after a while, I was a big MMA fan, dude. I would go and take my teaching work, my grading, my work, everything. I would go sit at Players, this little sports bar, and watch the prelims, the main card, the pay-per-view. I would just sit there all night long, and they thought it was kind of probably a little weird because I'm doing all this like work at the table, but that's how I would watch the events for forever. And so anyways, after a while of that, I just kind of wondered, is there MMA radio? I just wondered one day. So I looked it up, and I actually came across, you had him on your show, Gorgeous George. And, they had MMA Junkie Radio. And so I started listening to them, and he always talked about Twitter. I didn't even have social media at that point. And this was, I just got it 6 years ago about. And so he'd always talk about Twitter and this guy's Twitter and that guy's Twitter, and I was like, I don't know if I'll let's see, let's see. So I got a Twitter account, and after I kind of figured it out of like what maybe a little bit of figured it out of what to navigate and look up or whatever, I was like, damn, man, these guys know a lot of, you started finding a lot of guys who know
Yeah.
a lot of shit. And then you started finding guys like Kaposa, who's like at Grabaka _Hitman,
Mhm.
and guys like him who just, you're like, what? There's what promotion? Like, this is crazy. And so anyways, then you start learning about all these other things, and yeah, it was that kind of kickstarted the Twitter thing. And I made a Facebook and an Instagram at that time too. And so anyways, and then shortly after, I found it was a site called Evolved MMA.
Yeah.
And it was this guy named Travis, and I just remember seeing something saying he was looking for writers, and I thought,
Hmm.
you could write about MMA? Like,
Yeah.
that's cool. Like, okay. So I emailed him and asked him if I could write like an article or something for his site, and I mean, of course he said yes, because he just wanted content. So anyways, I didn't know shit about, I was so not techie, not at all. And so I just sent him a PDF or a Word document, and he published it for me with an image and all that shit.
There you
So
go.
anyways, it just kind of like that got the ball rolling for me to get a little more techie and try to figure it out. And so yeah, anyways, that was kind of the start of like getting like really involved in playing with MMA.
Yeah. And it was funny. What was his name again? Grabaka or Grabada?
Grabaka Hitman, yeah.
Okay. How many times has he been like banned off of Twitter?
Once for sure, because he used to be just Grabaka Hitman.
Yeah.
But then he got, I think he shared something from some Polish organization, or
God.
I don't know what, and then he had to come back as Grabaka Hitman with that underscore.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I remember at one point, this was before I got deactivated and lost everything and quit, but he lost that account again, I think, and then he ended up
Mhm.
getting it back somehow. Amazing. I don't know how you do that, because when you lose shit on Twitter or Instagram, they don't care about you. So,
Dude, I've been trying forever.
yeah, I saw you. I loved your tweet one day. You had they were asking about pets. They were like, "Hey,
Yeah.
show us your pets." You're like, "I'll show you my pets if you give me my Twitter back."
Yeah. I was like, fix my Twitter, all the pets you want, motherfuckers. Like, what the hell?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's just funny.
At one point, you were covering live going into NorCal. How did that even start?
Yeah. Well, I was just writing articles for, like I said, I started with Evolved MMA, and then Collateral Damage was another site that I got going with, and then MMA Latest News.
Yeah.
And when I started with MMA Latest, when I got with them, somehow I figured out there was like a show in the region, or I kind of started picking up on there's regional events, and I was like, God, how do you go to those?
Mhm.
And I think, well, I had been to other shows, but my first, I think, regional show, or maybe like second or something, it was right around being really new. And so MMA Latest News got me into West Coast Fighting Championships, and I think it was number 15, because it was before Max Griffin became King of Sacramento. So I think
Right.
it was 15, and so I went to it and I covered it, and I was like, that's fun. I did I went to the weigh-ins. They had a little press
Mhm.
conference. I mean, I went and just tried to do it all. I was like, this is cool. And so I did that. And then I think I did a couple more events under that like MMA Latest News banner.
Mhm.
And then I just eventually thought to myself, why am I writing for MMA Latest News all the time? What if I just made my own site? And I kind of met a lot of the promoters and people, and I thought, well, I wonder if I made my own site, if they'd still let me in.
Mhm.
So I just took a chance, and I made up NorCalMixedMartialArts.com. And sure enough, some guy in Napa who ran. I mean, he's changed his promotion name so many times, I don't even know what it is anymore. But he let me. He was my first show as like NorCal MMA, and just kind of steamrolled from there. So I kind of made up my own seat by just making up my own site. I know some people do it through only social media, but I felt like that didn't seem like real to me. I thought, well, I gotta have like a website and write articles,
Right.
and so I just made it up, man, and they let me in. I was kind of surprised.
That's pretty dope. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions for our guest, for Dave Madden, make sure you send them in there on the comment section. Shout out to Head Kick, Daniel's hanging out, Split Decisions here, Raider, ELC. Glad your dog's doing good, ELC. That's some scary stuff. But I'm curious about this. What is he talking about? Just tell him about getting sent up in them hills of Sonora.
Yeah, so I don't know which one exactly he means, but Sonora is, dude, it's in the fucking boonies, dude. I remember there was a show. There was one Split Decision where he's at in Modesto. There was a show the same night as a show in Sonora, and I looked on my phone and it looked like it had said Sonora was like 30, 40 more minutes from Modesto. I thought, all right, that's cool. Dude, I would drive all the fuck over this state to go cover events. And I mean, sometimes you're coming back so late at night and I just didn't want to fall asleep on the road. You know what I mean? So anyways, I'm driving to go to the Sonora show instead of the Modesto show. And I'm not kidding you, dude. I thought I was going into Yosemite, basically, which is way the fuck out there. And I thought, where am I going? So I don't know how much further I had to go. Even I never even got to Sonora. I called up the photographer, one of the best photographers in our region. You'll see her emblem. It's called MMA KO. You'll see it in I see it in articles sometimes still. And anyways, her name's Shannon Newton. She's badass. And anyway, I called her and I said, hey, get me into war, because that's what the event was called. I said, get me into war. Can you do that? And she called me right back and goes, yeah, man, come over. So I flipped a bitch on that shitty ass little highway. And I ran up to Modesto. I couldn't imagine, because it was so far, dude. Sonora was out in the boons, so far.
Yeah, no, it's a story like that at all, because I've covered like local stuff. I did like I wasn't. And not that I wasn't willing to drive around the state, but in Arizona, Phoenix is it. There's Tucson too, right an hour away. So like I've gone to like World Series and everything here. The furthest I've gone was to cover Invicta in Houston for the event where Michelle Watterson lost her belt to Erika Tiburcio. I remember that so well because it broke my heart. And then I still had to interview her afterwards. Half her black, gracious as she is, she still did the interviews and then. Goddamn, dude! But you driving around like that, shit, boy, that's crazy. So did it for a while too.
Yeah, I did it for like 2 years, and it was a blast. In some ways, it was so much fun, and I look back and I have so many great memories of it. You know, I mean, Split Decision, and you know, they invited me to their studio one time. You know, that was before I realized how far Modesto was from me, but you know, whatever. Yeah, man, I had a blast. There's so many great memories. I met so many cool guys who, I mean, doing my own little thing now where I really could give a fuck about saying anything newsworthy. I still have so many cool fighters that are down to chat or, you know, do podcasts or, you know, just great connections still, even after getting deleted off the map of social media, you know, I was still able to kind of reconnect with some of them. And, so yeah, man, it was so much fun, but there were also a lot of negatives and shit that I just said, you know, man, I can't do this. It got too big for me, which is cool. Like, damn, man, you made a thing that was like too big for you. But I made it I had a full-time job on top of a full-time job, and it just, you don't get paid, you know what I mean? It's not worth it.
And it's funny because it's like, how come you don't do events anymore? And I'm like, well, first of all, everyone big a little bit now, right? Like you know, then the locals and Victa, like the UFC don't, unless back by who knows fuck, like they won't let you in anywhere. Bellator still to a certain degree, Combat is open to anybody, but it's funny. It's the same thing with it, just like what you're saying. It's a full-time job on top of a full-time. It's really difficult to do. I mean, it's great. You know, it's great. Like passion will take you far. At some point, especially like you're talking about the negative shit, it breaks away at it. You just get tired, like fuck it. Like, so we'll get into getting social media out. But when did you decide like I'm not doing this anymore?
When I'm not doing it anymore?
Yeah, no. When did you decide, like, I'm not driving around and covering events? And
Yeah, it was well, it took me a minute to really cut the cord because obviously I loved it so much and I was
yeah,
just really into it, and there were just little things along the way where I just go, it kind of just got to me because one example, a promotion where this humongous brawl breaks out right behind me, and it was a brawl where like we're all cheering for Eddie. Eddie's our guy, and then we all fight each other. What the fuck is that?
how'd that happen?
Dude, it was insane, and I think they went there to do this. But this guy he was a newcomer. He was a brand new amateur, first fight ever, and I'm not kidding you. He sold over 100 tickets at
Yeah,
least. That's a lot for
yeah,
especially a new kid. So they were all behind me, all his fans, and his fight starts, and they all just are rushing up to get to the cage for pictures and just screaming shit. I don't even know. I got this lady screaming over my shoulder, and I'm like, Jesus Christ! This guy screaming. It
yeah,
was just kind of uncomfortable, and the security was light. This promotion they were cheapskates, and so they're trying to get these guys to sit down, and they won't sit down. Their ringleader finally goes, "Man, sit the fuck down," because the announcer's like, we're gonna stop this fight if you don't
yeah.
sit down, and they still weren't listening. So the ringleader's like, "Sit the fuck down," and they all do it. And then the fight's going on, and they're freaking out. They're freaking the fuck out, just screaming and shit. And you're like, Jesus Christ. So I don't know at what point erupted the brawl,
Mm.
but their fans amongst each other just go at it, and I mean, I don't know how I got my laptop out of the way. My phone luckily just got kicked under the cage because I got it easily later, but
Yeah,
it was a mess of human beings, and they were using the table I was just at as a launch pad for dropping elbows and shit. They were out of control. Men were fighting women were fighting men. It was bad. It was really, really bad. And anyways, that promotion wouldn't let me back again because I put out the footage of some of the brawl.
oh, no way.
Well, fine. I mean, it's part of the show, and
I'm
so they
yeah,
just wanted a reason to blame me, anyways. They were acting like I was stealing. They started the streaming of fights. They're the ones who started it. They
yeah,
allowed us to do it, me to do it, and so I just started doing it at all the shows. Then their cameraman thought I was like, they acted like I was stealing views somehow, and you're like, how the
really?
fuck am I stealing views? So, anyways, they just wanted a reason for me to be out, so they used that as the reason. And anyways, when that happened, I just remember thinking, like, I can't cover everybody now. Like, if the Amis fight, or they had a couple pros one time, you guys are fighting, I can't cover you. How am I NorCal MMA and I'm not covering NorCal MMA? It just didn't make sense to me. So people were supportive of me still. They were like, "No, Dave, it's cool. Like, it's just one show. It's cool."
Mhm.
But it irked me, and I thought, well, how can I be this thing if I can't do this thing, So that, and then I got into the memes. I don't know if it was around that time or before that time. I think it was like
Mhm.
a little before that brawl happened, because the same guy who was an announcer at that show, he came up to me one day because he was buddies with Luke Rockhold or some shit. He goes, "Luke Rockhold wants to head kick you, man." And I was like, "Oh, really? Why is that?" He saw one of your memes. Really, really, Luke Rockhold would give a shit about dumb Dave, who, I mean, I didn't even have that many followers at the time, so
Mhm.
he was just talking shit. He was just being an asshole to me. And anyways, I think it's just all these things were just kind of compiling. The memes especially kind of irked people. Uh, more silently than being really outward about it. It was weird. So anyways, after a while, I just said, I don't need this. I was driving all over the place, and I would work all week, and then I still had to prep on Sunday and do all my work on Sunday to get ready for the week. And I was just a zombie, and I had never put on more weight in my life. I was like I got up to like 235. It was bad. So, as much as I loved it, it was kind of destroying me too,
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of miles. It's a lot of leg work you got to do. And then you're right, the prep work and all that. It's pretty crazy. Got a couple comments here for you. NorCal MMA in the house.
Hey.
I love NorCal MMA. It's like Tucson. I got one, folks. Let's go. I was hanging out with Dave's old Sunday NorCal shows. I remember those. Mm-hmm. Yes, we did see Dana, and we'll be talking about this in a little bit here for sure. Talking about the brawl. That shit was so funny. It was funny because we heard about it on Twitter, and I was just like, "Oh, that's weird." And I didn't think about it much. And then when you put the footage, I was like, "Oh shit, he was there." Oh damn, boy, crazy. The small shows get crazy. Literally, only the fighters' friends and family. That happened in Arizona a handful of times too. Not that crazy, but still. What else we got? Let's see. Everyone wants the ninth card to happen. We'll talk in a little bit here. Okay, here's a good one. Are those Yamasaki hands on your hat, Dave?
Hey, no. This is it's a brand called Love MMA, and anyway, I haven't refollowed them on Instagram, but I used to. They have good clothes. This is actually one of their shirts too. I don't really like this guy. He's a meme page, but he blocks everybody. I think he has me blocked too. But I like the shirt. I like the idea of being an MMA nerd. But yeah, they make comfy clothes. So that's what it is. It's Love MMA. I don't know if they're still around, but yeah, we could say they're Yamasaki hands. That's cool.
That works.
Yeah.
All right. So at some point, you disappeared. Everything to the point where it was almost like a bit to where in the world's Carmen San Diego. That's it. Where in the world Dave Madden? Where do you guys think he's at? Like once in a while, like one of us, me or Fred or Jesse, would be like, "Have you guys heard from me?" But I'm like, "Oh shit!" Like we hadn't forgotten about you, but like there's events every week. We're just covering shit all the time. And then I would see like a meme or something, or someone would repost one of your old memes and be like, "Oh, I remember that. What the fuck is Dave?" You know what I mean? Like that shit was weird. So you disappeared, or what the fuck happened?
Yeah, so I mean, I took a year-long hiatus. Well, so you guys warned me, Dave, don't post this, Dave, don't post that. I know you guys were right. So, what happened was first it was Facebook. Facebook, they acted like I was going to be on suspension for X number of days, and then in the middle of those days, I got disabled. And by disabled, I mean I just couldn't do anything, and so I tried to make it accounts. I tried to make a new account. And it just would not allow me. On my phone, on my work computer, on my home laptop. I even tried to get my wife involved. Like, hey, let me use your computer. Come here, let me.
They got the IP down.
Yeah, they just remembered it, I guess. So Facebook, I kind of just gave up on it after. I tried a few times and there was no crack in the code. Well, it was like a week after Instagram did the same thing to me. So I think I made some stupid meme, and I think I used like an ESPN video or something, but I didn't know it was ESPN's. It's just I found it on Twitter, and anyways, yeah, there's the same thing happened. They were like, "Oh, you're suspended for X number of days," and then in that time, I got disabled off of Instagram. So
shit.
Yeah, no Facebook, no IG, and then my own personal Twitter. I think I was just kind of sour on everything, and I just, like I said, man, all this social media stuff. 6 years in, it's still kind of new in a sense, but I think coming back now, it's like, okay, I've been there, I've done that, I've gone. I think I was sour, and I don't know. I just said fuck it, and I deleted it all, and then I was getting shitty comments on you brought up MMA Gods saying something about the YouTube NorCal MMA YouTube. It was like they couldn't send me shitty comments anywhere else. So then it was like they found that. So I was getting shitty comments through there, and I fucking deleted that one too. And yeah, anyways, and then it left me with nothing. And I came back a little tiny bit, but it wasn't as me. It was I created a meme page on IG, and it was just on Instagram only. And what I did with it was I had tried to set up with and it was with Shopped As It Gets, Daily Dose MMA, and MMA Island, and then we were creating unique memes for Rockfin, which is the subscription site that Ben Askren is a part of. And I didn't expect people to pay for memes, but if you got people to go there, and then maybe if they paid for Ben Askren or Chael Sonnen and shit or whatever else, you got a little credit. But it was like you had to get so much traffic going for anything to happen. And I don't think they really liked us after all, because I mean we'd make memes about Ben Askren, and I know when we quit doing that, and I just said I think actually that account got deleted too, or it got suspended. I think it got suspended, and I said, all right, fuck it, and I just quit. So I never heard from them again. So I don't think they really missed us too much, but I know we brought a bunch of we got like a couple hundred followers over there, so I know there were people going there. But yeah, that was kind of funny to not hear from them again. Like I said, I don't think they really like the memes either.
Yeah, no, like or see like the memes and like so I know someone's got upset about it, but it's have humor. But I remember the comments you would get, even on meme was it Meme?
Yeah, right? Yeah, Meme Amusement. Yeah.
Even on Meme Amusement, the comments you would get, and I was like, why the fuck are they? What is their issue? And then they will, you would actually the fuckers, and I was like, dude, leave them, like just ignore them, dude.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
And you would engage them, and I'm kind of like, oh boy, they get tired. Like, and that's the one thing they don't tell you about, I guess, lack of a better term, content creator. Okay, is that there's always going to be people that love you and people that hate your stuff, but then there's cunts. The cunts are in the middle. Okay, the cunts are the people that have time to try to fuck you. Okay, because people you aren't gonna watch you. That doesn't happen. Okay, it's the douchebags in the middle that just want to be trolls, that just want to say some stupid and fuck your day up, or like say something like, oh my god, look, for example, who I forgot who made the Hawani or the fake Akamoto the day where they tweeted it out. I said it happened, and Dana replied that one. Dana White actually replied, said like, no, it's not true. And I really go for one. You responded troll one, right? So and I'm not gonna get into it. Like, we know one person in particular who might be the biggest cunt on the planet. Okay, you know who this is.
I do know who you mean.
I'm sure most people watching know who this is. I ain't saying this person's name because fuck this person twice in the face. But it's hilarious. That person still goes and downvotes everything, right? Yeah. But like I was a legit journalist at a college doing stories down in the town that I lived in, the college town that I lived in, right? I was an actual journalist before I decided to retire from that shit. But it's incredible when you run into a person like that. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of those motherfuckers, okay? But with that one person back, years later, you one of those motherfuckers, like, they keep doing shit, right? That's honestly one of the reasons why all the shivers, Nate Diaz, the Minger, and if you hate us and you still watch everything we do, bitch, you're a fan. It's for people like that. But I was always like, dude, how the fuck are you like playing these people, dude? You need to stop.
I know.
And like, so we'll jump in on it and just fuck with people. It's like, come on, dog, stop. So one day you just disappeared, and then came back, and it was funny because we talked about you on the show, right? The next day, I forgot the fighter's name, 135, something 135. He posted about it, and then all you're back. So how that worked out?
Yeah, I honestly, I don't even know how, but my dad somehow, because I had told him, I go, dude, I don't know, man. There's just my mom likes to have. She would use the Instagram to kind of message me. God forbid, use your fucking cell phone and text.
All
But
text something.
somehow she couldn't do that one. But she really liked having the messenger on Facebook, and so we didn't have that for a year. I had to hear about it for a year, and I couldn't figure it out. I told her over and over. I go, I can't figure it out. I don't know what to do. And my dad, I don't even know. One day I said it again somehow, and he fucking figured it out. He texts me. He goes, "Hey man, use this password." And I did it, and it kicked back the same message that I was getting before. Like, you and I texted him back. I go, I don't think it's gonna work, dude. I mean, good try, but I don't think it's gonna work. And lo and behold, dude, I'm not kidding. Hours later, it kind of let me in, and
Oh shit.
I was like, what the fuck? So I was like, that's crazy. I don't even know how you did that. So that was badass. That was cool that he did that. And what happened was when I first logged in, I saw Nolan's. It was Nolan Hernandez.
Yes,
I saw Nolan's post asking about where Dave was, and I was like, "That is crazy. He's asking about me. That's cool." So I don't even. I think I messaged him or something, or I think I just wrote a blog about, like, hey, I'm back, or I don't know. But anyways, I think I messaged him and like, hey, dude, that's rad. Like, I saw your thing. Yeah, I don't even know how that worked. And then after that, it's kind of weird to be on social media. Like I have my name here as MMAstorytime.com. I do have it as my name. Whatever. I just put that. But it's kind of weird to be on Twitter and not be you, and it's kind of weird to be on Instagram and not be you. I'm fine with it. I kind of whatever. I just wanted something so I could make memes, and I wanted something so I could write articles, and then the Facebook piece is just kind of a cool bonus because things share right from Instagram to Facebook, and then I guess stay connected with my good old mom. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah, it popped up out of nowhere, dude. And I was like, holy shit. And then you messaged me, and then you messaged Fred, and I was like, holy shit, he's back. All right, yeah, cool. Here we go. Repping his shirt from I blocked you.
There it is.
See, that's ultimate, right? Like, fuck you, buddy. I'm still wearing the shirt.
I just thought, dude, even when he blocked me years ago, last my old account, I just like the idea of, like, I'm an MMA nerd, and then it says on a meme department. I just thought that was bad. I think that's cool. And I hate those accounts that are private. You know what I mean? And he's got shitloads of followers. Good for him. Whatever. But he's one of those private accounts, and the only private account I follow on Instagram is the Strangle Squad. I don't know if you follow them, but
I do.
Yeah, they're the only ones. They crack me up, and but yeah, I'll wear their shirt, whatever.
Shit. I rated being pussy funny shit Dave would post. Like, just keeps on. What I say about people mad about shit on social media, I'm like, just keep on, move along. What the fuck? I like this one. Split. So you made it when you get a cease and desist. Did you get one?
Oh, I got all sorts of those. Yeah.
Damn. Oh, there you go. Yeah. They're trying to figure out who the person we're talking about is. Probably Snowden. He's a top level biatch. He is a top level biatch, but it's not who we're talking about.
No, this guy couldn't even get a blue check mark if he paid for one.
Yeah, he couldn't blow anything and get a check mark anywhere. Okay?
Yeah.
And fuck Snowden. Hey, look, man, no one likes. It's all. Yeah. Is there an MMA Twitter asking for? We're writing the book right now. That's what it is. Let's see. He blocked me too for agreeing with Kid Nate. Oh, Snowden did. Snowden blocks everybody. Luke Thomas does though. So, but I mean, if you look at Luke Thomas, just, here. If you look at Luke Thomas, like, he does legit work, but like, he just was like, I'm not fucking with you, block. I'm not fucking with you, block. And people hate that motherfucker, blaming him for canceled. Like, come on, did y'all read the break? Because come on, it wasn't his fault. But it's crazy. All right, now you're back. Your MMA story time. What are you trying to do with it? Are you just hanging out? Are you going to make memes? I know you have a site. Let people know about it, because I know signing people up for that site, and actually read all your blogs and everything. Usually during lunch.
I love to write, man. That's what that's why I thought it was so cool that you could mix writing with MMA. I couldn't even believe that was a thing, so when I was able to do that, I thought that's so cool. The problem is if you try to keep up with the MMA news cycle, you're not going to do it. And there you go, you have a full-time job again. So that wasn't for me. I didn't want to bring back the NorCal MMA thing because what am I doing? I'm NorCal MMA, but I'm not covering any shows. What am I doing? So I wanted a platform where I could write. I could write about MMA, and then I wanted something where I could make memes, and then I wanted something where I could do podcasts. All the things that I like to do. So MMA Storytime is it's a way for me to just write about MMA, and what I do primarily is in the blog world. There's all these like little flat challenges. Use this word in a story, write a story in 99 words. Right? I make up a challenge. I have like a little 100-word challenge. I'm kind of one of the only people doing my own challenge, but whatever. So I like to, they're just quick, they're short. And then I do other stuff too that I'm working on. Hopefully one day we can put out there and share with the world, but just kind of in that little interim spurts, it's just a cool site for me to write little stories. There's poetry challenges. I made up a little activity for Pictionary, where I'm putting a little, guess who the fighter is thing. I post the podcast there. I just kind of publish everything in one place. I use it primarily as just like writing fiction. So that's what MMAstorytime.com is. It's just kind of a place for fiction related to MMA, and they're just short little stories, and and then it's kind of funny being in the little blogger sphere world. A lot of these people, they're like, "Oh, I didn't know that about MMA. Oh, I didn't know that about it." I'll take real things that happen. I don't know if Split Decision's still in here, but he was at the show when this one kid, he was supposed to fight. His name was Chris Burton, really nice guy, but he was supposed to fight, and the world of MMA, man, these kids who train so hard and then they don't get to fight for whatever stupid fucking reason. So I guess he gets to the prep point, and the commission, the little camo. This is amateur MMA. The commission of camo guys, the California Amateur Mixed Martial Arts Association organization. They go, your mouth guard doesn't fit properly, and he's like, what? So all you see, because they don't have a Joe Rogan commenting for us and telling us what's going on, so you just have to figure it out on your own. So he comes out, gets to the prep point, you see a little bit of talking back and forth, and then he leaves. And you're like, that's weird. And then they bring out, he was supposed to be I think the co-main event that night. And so they bring out the main event to happen, and that's happening. Well, anyways, what they did was they dipped his mouth guard into where they were frying French fries in the back to like heat it up and warm it up, and so then he wound up sticking it back in his mouth, and it molded a little better. So anyways, doing a little story like that, and then someone goes, is that real? And you're like, yeah, man, that shit really actually did happen. So anyway, shit like that is kind of fun.
No, and you're checking out your website. How do people sign up for that? Because I know I get the emails whenever you put one out.
Yeah, so with WordPress, it's kind of annoying. I mean, if you go to MMAstorytime.com and you just click on an article, if you want to leave a comment of some kind,
sign up, right?
It starts to ask you for your email and shit, and then a lot of people get turned off by that, and I totally get that. It's like, fuck, man, I don't want to sign up to just say something.
Right.
So what I did with a lot of people I knew on Facebook, I was like, hey man, can I have your email, and I'll just sign you up as a follower. And I noticed when I was trying to ask people like on my podcast, no one really sent it. You know what I mean? So I just kind of asked people that I would want to ask or felt comfortable asking on Messenger. And anyways, that's how I was trying to sign people up. So yeah, you could sign up on your own, but yeah, a lot of people sometimes get turned off by that, and I totally get it. And and my thought behind it was I was making up these little "can you guess the fighter" things, and yeah, my hope was to get interaction on the site and get people visiting and writing in there. But again, you kind of get turned off with you have to sign up. So if I just made you a follower of the site, then you could comment if you wanted. So yeah, I would love if anyone did sign up, but it asks for your email or something. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you definitely, if y'all down to do that, just put the email in, dude. Why not?
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk a little bit of UFC 249. I don't know if you're not, but Dana White's trying to push the shit through again for I think May 8th, I think it is. Now, I mean, it's still, honestly. That's what I said about happening in California. I was like, it's responsible. If they do it, I'll watch. Shit, I'm not gonna, be like I'm fucking, not for whatever reason, right? And but now he's trying to push it through again. What are your thoughts on this? Because this just came out like a couple hours ago. It's super weird, really.
Yeah, I saw. I saw people retweeting Brett Okamoto's tweet. So then I see that, and then what I thought was interesting, and I kind of appreciated. I saw Nolan King, who he writes for MMA Junkie, and he was
one of the best.
Yeah, I liked what he did, where he took the article from MMA Junkie, but then kind of puts it into context of, dude, these fighters didn't even really know until Dana White's announcing it. He said that they kind of had a feeling. They had kind of put it out there but nothing confirmed and for sure. So, I put out a meme about it of, I put May 9th, it was a square peg going into the global pandemic of a round hole. And then Dana White's the hammer. And people don't like those memes. They don't like it to be real. They want it to be like, you put up the card and then it's Joe Rogan fucking fired up, and I get that, I get being excited. I'm right there with you. I'll watch, but I'm really torn with it, where if I were the promoter, it's really, really hard for me to there you go. I thought that was funny.
Make sure and y'all you go follow my man, all right? MMA Storytime on Twitter to get shit like time, and on Instagram. But this had me laughing because I was like, exactly what's happening.
I thought that was funny. But
great.
Yeah, people didn't like that one as much, but it's all right. It's all good. But I'm torn, dude, because again, I'll watch, but if I was the promoter, what are we doing? What are we doing? We just had the WWE have some. My understanding, it was a camera guy. I didn't dig into anything to figure it out, but some camera guy gets coronavirus. You know what I mean? And it's you could test these guys all you want. It's a matter of they're like some of the healthiest people on the planet. You know what I mean? They're in such great shape. They're young. They're not in that age group, but they're going back home. And it's just, why put yourself in that? Why force this? I don't understand the need to, money, fucking duh. But it's beyond my understanding. And it's really irresponsible, I think, of Dana White.
Yeah, and Dana White's, in my opinion, it has to be Vince McMahon, right? Vince somewhat pulled off WrestleMania. It was like too pre-recorded. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not the same thing. So he's just trying to force that fucking square peg in the circle in the round hole, and can't help but it's got him in the ass again. You know what I mean? And I have to give his dude any credit, but every time already. So you guys know, Brent Beansmith or something like that from Bloody Elbow.
Who is it? Oh yeah. Trent Reisman or something.
Yeah, something like that. It's me, but he unblocked me. It was the weirdest thing. He blocked me after I said, I said something like your takes are only uneducated, but just trash. And it was the Joe Budden, who's a rapper, saying trash, but he says it where it's like trash, like you don't fuck up the game, bitch. And so he fucking coming. But recently, someone retweeted one of his like shit goals, and I'm like, holy, he unblocked me. All right, whatever. So anyway, he said that Dana White should be fired. It's bad for him, and the shit. So everyone that. So I don't want to go to that. Do you think that's the thing? Let's say this, whether or not this off. Dana White trying just doing too much now.
I kind of cut out at the end there.
Oh.
I heard something about like charging for it
Oh
or
no.
something.
Do you think Dan's like doing too much?
Yeah, man. I don't get it. I don't understand the need to push this so hard. Again, it's a money thing, and they have to put out X number of events. I just don't get it. I don't see why an organization, if the NBA cannot compete, and they're talking about doing their playoffs in Vegas versus in all these cities, and they're only going to do the playoffs. That's the fucking NBA. And I don't give a shit about the NBA, but it's way more popular than UFC.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
It's a bit much, man. He just, I think he's doing much, but again, like people are gonna support him. Just we so bad want a distraction from all craziness that we'll jump on anything. Let's see, what do we got? All right, so hey, I with this. If they do, don't do Gabe versus Tony, please. Like, oh fuck, I mean, okay. Do you want to see or races? Do you want Tony to find this card if it's not Khabib?
Dude, you know what? It can only go because it's MMA. It can only go the way of MMA, right? I mean, when it was Tony versus Khabib, I was leaning towards Tony. Just Tony having more tools in terms of like, get him on his back, try to smash him. I just thought he would win, and it can only go the way of MMA. You put him in with Gagey, he's gonna lose. I think he could beat Gagey, but that's the only way it can go. So it's so sad for him. I mean, we want to see, dude, that fight was so good and so interesting. Not that Gagey wouldn't be, but damn, Tony was on this amazing win streak and just putting on these sick performances, and so sad, man. But I agree. It's so weird. But that's how these guys are. That they're just these warriors who want to go show that spirit, and sometimes we don't get it, and it's weird for sure.
This guy says fight MMA Karen.
Weird flex.
Right? They should do like Fighter Survivor with the island. I mean, they do an island. It's gonna be for international.
Yeah, what the fuck's up with this island? What are we doing?
Okay, so the island's only gonna be, for international cards, right? One's supposed to be overseas. But I don't know how he's doing it. I'm so interested. I can't wait for the documentary in like 10 years. of back in the day when Dana White's fucking island. Like, I can't, if this happened, I want to see the documentary. So it's the MMA guys. There's 3 title fights supposedly: Tony, Justin, Cejudo, and Cruz, maybe Usman, Jorge. I've heard from what I've read, it's Nunes and Spencer.
Yeah, I saw that one on there too.
Yeah. So, God said I just took a poll, and almost everyone wanted them to cancel Tony, Justin, waiting for Khabib. I'm down with that plan.
Yeah, wait for Khabib, man. And Khabib is so inactive, anyways. It's just you're just gonna sit on your thumbs and wait for the next time he fights. And then I was gonna ask you, are you still well? If shit is going on, who knows? But were you still planning on going to International Fight Week?
No. I can't now. And I'll tell you off air.
Okay.
No more personal. I'm not gonna throw out there yet. At some point, I'll tell everybody. Believe me.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm out on that for sure.
Because I was just thinking, dude. Because I saw, like God's put up there Jorge and Usman, and dude, that is a good one. I mean, that's what you.
That's a main event somewhere, though. That main event, man.
International Fight Week.
Yeah.
I mean, you base the whole weekend on the baddest motherfucker versus the champ. But
no, for sure. Vanship, man, what up, dude? I thought April 18th. Wait, now supposedly May 9th. Yeah, so May 18th. As rated California, the government stopped it. So basically, Newsom hit California State Athletic Commission. They hit up Disney and ESPN, and then Disney and ESPN came to Dana White and be like, no, little guy, you can't do that. I've never seen White other than when Nate Overhand, Stockton slapped his ass. Like, never seen him get slapped like that. Everybody, like, he had to go like with Brett Okamoto on ESPN, hands in his pockets, like, yeah, we can't do it.
Yeah.
Mommy said no, like that kind of thing. It was hilarious, super embarrassing, which is why I see him pushing through. But
yeah, he's got to show what a badass he is. He just has to show he's the top dude. It's not going to be in California because they're just going to tighten the screws on him again. So
yeah,
probably, I guess I saw something with Florida.
Florida,
They're allowing pro sports. So
Florida, it's like essential. Like they deemed what's it called, WWE essential, and what try and go there too.
so stupid.
Let's see. They still need to okay the mouse. Yeah, right. So so ESPN. Disney owns ESPN, and it's only a couple weeks earlier, so it's be okay. I don't think it will be.
I
think
either.
If they actually let it happen, just from the get go, it's gonna be bad PR for Disney, whose stock is already dipped down quite a bit. If it happens and someone gets, nightmare. Like that's a nightmare for the UFC, but for ESPN. But I have a hard time believing that should happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As much MMA and everything, I get it. I'm not saying I don't watch it. I'm saying it's difficult for me to imagine that down.
Yeah, because that's only 3. It's only 3 weeks away, really.
Right.
And these fighters who, again, they'll step up and fight whenever, however. They don't care really. But that's how their careers came up. They came up battling through bullshit to fight.
Mm.
So what's another time? And then they're getting just bigger paydays now. But it's crazy. How can they? Again, we all in this comment section, me, you, anyone who watches love MMA and will watch it. But how in the world are they bigger than these sports that are 10 times bigger than them? It doesn't make any sense.
Right. And look, basketball, everyone, D'ing up each other real close. Football, tackle, and fighting, you're closer than those guys for the entire fight, the entire 25, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So
I was shocked.
It's just crazy.
I was just shocked Rogan, after all his kind of hemming and hawing at who was he? I think he was talking to Lex Friedman. I forget.
Think so.
And he was like, "Yeah, man, I'm 70." Oh no, it was Schaub. He was talking to Schaub, and he's like, "Yeah, man, I was like 75% ready to go." That just kind of surprised me, especially when he has on all these experts and. More
about it than Dana White does, motherfucker.
I was just surprised, because he just seems like such a guy of like he says it, he does it, and I don't know.
Raider, were you involved with this stoppage anyway?
Fuck no, she wasn't.
All right, it says, "Oh no, Disney will have no problems. The mouse has morals. Trust me, I live miles from that road." And Disney does not give, but they think they do know what a PR nightmare that would be if that's sick. I want to be comfortable going. Probably won't go to a sporting event for a long time. I think it's one of those things. There's so many unknowns with this whole thing that it would be really difficult for anyone that isn't like ignoring what's going on. In my opinion, blatantly ignoring what's going on. That would actually go anywhere. I think to me, you'd have to be that person that's like, oh, it's bullshit, fake news, everything's news, whatever, fake news, I'm going. You know what I mean? Like, how many people? I mean, I don't know, I've seen a bunch of already. People were like calling it a hoax, fake news and shit that got fucking sick. And then they were like, oh my, never mind, no, don't, take it serious. And it's just like, come on, dog. Why does karma have to bite you in the ass? Yeah. Disney has had the $12 billion in 1 month and not go bankrupt. That's true. I'm not surprised, man. That is crazy.
That is crazy.
All right, here we go. More question: who will review? And Teo's like, I'll pay $100 for that card, dude. They wanted like 65 or 70 for this one, and I was kind of okay. You want, and I get it. There's to this shit, and we've known this, right? How many people are you expecting to actually buy this pay-per-view when people don't have jobs?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's weird.
It is weird. Hey, if Teo wants to send me $100, I'll send you a link. You know what I mean?
Right? I'll get you that, bro.
But yeah, it's so insensitive to, and that's what, again, the MMA, Dana White, the UFC, whatever. It's every MMA bit. They want to squeeze everything they can out of you because they don't care, man. In the end, there's so many promotions where I would cover them, and they would do their very first event, and they would talk about that. And these are a lot of amateur shows, and just they just they care so much about the fighters. They just want to give them a platform and just give them a place to fight. And after their first show, they see, he doesn't sell a lot of tickets. That kid did. You know what? I'm going to get that kid on the next card. I don't want to get this other guy. And then the very next show, that's the mode they're in. And these are they're chiming how much they love this fight, the fighters and the athletes and the sport. And you know what? I get it. And, it is about money, but you can't act like you love them on one hand and then worry so much about your payday on the other. I didn't realize how much amateur shows made. You know what I mean? One promoter was really cool, dude. He kind of broke it down for me, and he goes, "Yeah, dude, we're making some shit here." And so that was souring to me for sure.
Sure. All right. So I think people don't understand like behind the scenes, and you know what I mean. Like you and I have both seen the behind the scenes works, right? Especially with Amy stuff, right? But like behind the scenes that are in big card and being behind the scenes at a Bellator card, a couple of and a few series of fight, like it's like you kind of get grossed out. And with some of the you find out that these promoters do and some of the fighters do, you're just kind of like, what the fuck am I doing here? But, imagine what he does. Yeah, it is. Let's see. Disney has the government on their side. They have a lot of people in Orange County. Feinstein rules California. USC isn't doing shit here for a while. 100%. That touchy pal. I don't want shit in California for a while. Grudges. Let's see. I know Dana's the WWE is doing events and the UFC isn't. #Pink Lives Matter. Yeah. Dana's also kissing Trump's ass. Kind of has to. Shit.
Dude, Trump was during his task force briefing today. I mean, it sounded like when the fighters get their chance to do their shout outs for their sponsors. I mean, that's what he was just like, this guy and IBM and this, and he's like, oh, and Dana White in the UFC. Oh, Dana White. It was like, yeah, they both have their lips on each other's asses for sure.
All right, so if you had to make a guess or does UFC 249 happen on May 9th?
I mean, I'm going to go with no. I just feel like that's the logical side. That makes the most sense. I'm not going to be as hardcore as Fred is, where he just doubles down. He tweets out about it. He makes videos saying it's not fucking happening. I loved the video he made. It was immediately after they're announcing the card, and he records himself, and he's just like, I just don't believe it, man. And I thought, damn, you're really putting it out there of you're catching a lot of shit for, and people fuck around on Twitter and they like him a lot. So, but I thought, shit, man, I just, to put it out there like that, all these guys who, like I said, they want the memes where, you show the card and, you say how awesome it is. They don't want to be real. I honestly, man, logic says no. I just don't see how it can happen. I don't see, even if they open us back up in May, they're not going to, they're in California. We have all these like goofy steps. I was telling you before we went live about how, I mean, restaurants are going to have to, the waiters are going to have to wear gloves and masks, disposable menus. Dude, that's fucked up. A restaurant who is going to be struggling and they're probably all going to shut down is going, I mean, they're going to have to use disposable menus. And then the schools, they want the kids to stay away. Are you fucking kidding me? It's insane. And then they're going to have guys fight and sweat and bleed and breathe all over each other. Makes no sense. So logically, I'm saying no. I'm not going to put my foot down and, like a Jesse and, I'm not going to watch the card. That's not me. But fuck, man, I don't see how they could do it.
I don't think it happened. I think he's build it up again like this last. What's going to happen? And then last second, someone's going to pull the plug on that shit. We'll see. We've crazy to happen. On Twitter, why are you surprised?
I guess so.
Fred showed his dick on Twitter. Controversial opinion isn't that bad. He don't give a fuck.
That's true. Yeah.
For this last one, Fred said he would suck a dick if it actually happened. So we're getting closer and closer. Like I was, Jesse would both text Fred, "Hey, dude, like you put that out there like that, like what are you gonna do?" And he's just like, "It ain't gonna happen. I don't give a." And so like the week before, no, like 2 days before they announced that he got killed, we did Keyboard Warriors, and Fred was like, "Oh shit, I might be sucking a dick." Like in that, and then like I think the next after, Kurt like, found out it was canceled, and he was like, "I fucking need it," and I'm like, "Holy shit, dude!" Oh,
he's so funny.
I remember telling him, I was like, "Man, it's not saying I would see it because I would, and I wouldn't wish that on you for any reason, unless you're into that kind of thing." But, bro, like if that actually went down, it'd have been like, "Oh shit." He could probably like charge people for that shit, honestly.
Yeah, he put it out there. He's gonna do it, you know. That's for sure.
Yeah, no, I was like, afterwards, like, "Hey man, you gotta tone it down on the bets, all right? Shit's crazy right now." I mean, if you tone it down, if you don't, God. You're a grown ass man, bro. Yeah. Hard to believe.
So
how to think Dana would set himself up for another cancellation? That's true. Fred is hilarious. Florida has made a sports essential. True. Does anyone here live in Florida? I don't, so I don't know. But Fred is great, but that was scary. Yeah. Oh, the penis picture? Yeah. That was,
he'd be having an OnlyFans account and just shortly thereafter.
Yeah. Quick. All right. We'll do the now. I changed a couple of the questions because they just don't pertain to this. But let's start off. There's 10 questions. This is part of the questionnaire. Was originated in French television by a personality named Bernard Pivot, and more recently by James Lipton on Inside the Actor Studio. And that Inside the Actor Studio, like every episode I could find, I watch, but especially the Dave Chappelle episodes were the best. So, and the Martin Lynch one and the Eddie Murphy one. But like every time you did this questionnaire, it was interesting because you kind of got a sense of who someone. So here's 10 questions. All right.
Okay.
What is your favorite word?
My favorite word? Probably like apparently or seriously.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that.
Mm-hmm. All right. What is your least favorite word?
Oh man. Fuck, what do I hate to hear people say? Fuck, there's a lot of words I hate, actually. God damn, that's hard to narrow down.
Right.
Yeah, fuck, I don't know. A least favorite word. Like something like amazing or something generic that's like some shitty adjective that's like you don't even mean, you know.
Right. You know, it was bothering me when people say something, "This is amazing." It's kind of like, motherfucker, what are you gonna do if something that actually amazing happens?
Right.
What are you gonna use? I think Louis C. the bit about that amazing on a fucking like taco. Wait, what if Jesus, like, you know what I mean? Like shit like that. So, Louis C.K. who's got in trouble, but what are you gonna? All right. Change a couple of these questions. So this one, number 3, who's your favorite fighter?
That's like one of those hard ones. It's like your favorite song, you have that list. I think someone who like I really glommed onto is like I just felt like I would ride or die with him until they became a kind of a piece of shit. BJ Penn. I just always kind of gravitated towards him, but then also the Royce Gracie. I UFC 1, and kind of looking back, you're like, damn man, I really just appreciate what he was doing. But I think BJ Penn was one I kind of glommed onto as like, I'll get that guy's shirt. Fuck yeah, man. you know.
All right. What fighter can you not stand? All now in the history, whatever.
I hate the what it's become, where it's like a guy like Dylan Danis, where it's just so fake. Like, win 8 more fights, dude.
Yeah. All right. This one. What sound or noise do you love?
What sound do I love?
What sound or noise do you love?
A skateboard that it like popping.
Oh yeah.
The rumble of the wheels, the pop, and then the land. I love that shit.
Were you a skater?
Oh, so much. Yeah, I love
really?
that shit. Oh yeah, I could still get down a little bit, but I need a better board to feel a little safer. My board's from when I was like 24, and I quit. I love that shit, dude. I used to get down for sure.
You ever go to bros and everything, and like Peralta guys and all that?
Where I grew up, it was I felt like the coolest guys I knew were some of the guys from like X21. Some of the names are escaping me now. Fuck. We had a lot. There were a lot of good guys around here. Brayden Beeble. He's like one of my favorites. He was. If you guys, dude, the best skate video ever is "Girl," the movie. It's that one's so good. But it's called. They had a best team. Rodney Mullen. I love Rodney Mullen. Yeah, dude, I was love skating, man. That was my thing. That was my jam.
It was funny skate. Like I used to watch the skate videos when they were trying to sell their merch and all that, and I love those like with Tony and all those other guys. But I skated too in middle school, and I was solid. I wasn't good, but I was good enough. Like I had the balls to go on to the skate park and go on bowls and shit.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was more like flat ground. I did a lot of flat ground shit, and I think like I said, I didn't have social media for forever. So when I'm in college and I'm kind of going class to class, I'm just like riding my board around, and I always thought it was kind of cool. You kind of ride through the quad and manual over shit or nose manual shit, or you know what I mean. And I don't know. That was my jam, dude, for sure.
Shit, man. The one time I was grinding. I tried to grind on like on stairs, that fucking the handle, whatever, the little handle, whatever you want to call it. Like it comes down at the very end, it goes low enough for me with an ollie on top of it. So I did that, and the time I did it, I cracked that fucker almost myself. I was like, all right, no more of that shit. I still, I can ride a skateboard still now. I just fuck breaking my shit like that. All right.
I'll post a pressure flip. I'll go bust one out here in the next couple days. I'll put it out there.
There you go. All right. Number 6. What sound or noise do you hate?
I hate the fucking sound of women who just have to talk down about men, and women who act like they hate their husbands so much. Or they act like their husbands are stupid. I work with mostly women, so when they start bad mouthing them, I fucking hate those ladies. I hate when they talk. I hate cackling hens.
I don't know. I mean, relating it to fighting, I don't know. I can't say anything bad about her, but Eddie Alvarez's wife, who sounds like a banshee.
Yeah,
I'm like, dude, stop.
Yeah, I can feel that.
All right, number 7. What is your favorite curse word?
Probably fuck.
There you go. All right. Now you have to. And I probably have to fuck with this question, for future and everything. But obviously you don't have to give out what your profession is now. What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
Man, I would love to like just publish something that I'm writing, more like a book, putting it out. I don't even know if to be a writer. I mean, it's like I don't know, like I just don't see that as a career path for me. But yeah, I am working on something. That would be like to finish it, put it out, have it actually in print. I'll pay. I don't care. Like it's cool just to make my own book, and have my own little trilogy thing that I made and put it out on Kindle. And that's the hope, man. So hopefully I can do that. But yeah, the writing aspect, the journalism thing wasn't my thing, but I just love writing about it. I love writing about MMA, and so yeah, being a writer.
All right. What profession would you not like to do?
Man, there's a lot of things. I used to get fired all the time. Because I knew I was going to be a teacher when I grew up, so I would just do whatever I wanted. Because then fucking fire me, whatever, So I got fired from like everything, dude. So yeah, I hated retail a lot, and doing things in retail, and to do that for like my life, I was like, that'd be hard because it's you have to invest in someone else's products and stuff. I don't know, like that's a hard one for sure. So I feel for people who have to do that, and because I couldn't.
I don't wish anybody a ridiculous amount of patience, for real. All right. And I never did it. I've been in wholesale my entire life, so I don't fuck with that too much. But I've seen retail like had go wrong. All right, last question. And yeah, this one always weirds me out, but it's interesting. All right, last question. If heaven exists, okay, if heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
You were right about that. Just having a scenario where I know I was right, and then he just goes, you were right about that, because you get those people who you're wrong, you get told you're wrong, no one believes you. You just feel in your heart you're right, and even if it's like seemingly wrong, in this PC world, you just get made out to be wrong, and you're like, I'm not wrong. But yeah, I just would love for that one of that would be the ultimate I told you so. You know what I mean?
Hey, God says I'm right, motherfuckers. Now y'all gotta eat it. All right, y'all. Last check of the headlines here. Nothing new. Obviously, there's not gonna be anything new, but there really isn't anything new. There was like news report other than May 9th thing. So all right, and dude, this is had a ton of fun. You coming on, dude. Throw out your social medias and everything so everyone can follow you.
Yeah, man. No, thank you for having me to do this. I had a lot of fun with you too. I have a lot of fun every podcast I do with you. But yeah, if you guys want, it's funny to push the social media. I'm happy if you guys did. Instagram's kind of my favorite, more so than Twitter. But it's at. I got kicked off of that Instagram too, but I had at MMA Storytime, and then I got kicked off randomly, dude. They didn't warn me or anything. Weird. So now it's MMA.Storytime. But yeah, that's why I was getting people to follow the site. It's like that would be like a lot better. I figured out how to set up ads there. So
there you go.
If you guys are ever checking out a page and you want to throw me a nickel, fucking click the ad, and I don't know, man. Yeah, thank you. That's cool. But yeah, it's MMA Storytime. Facebook, I'll add you. Just Dave Madden.
Cool. Next show, because you have you actually still in fighters quite a bit. So next show, do you know?
Yeah, I'm doing one tomorrow with his name's Joe Cropscott. He's a middleweight who he's a dude. So many of these guys who they're killers and they just can't get fights. And like I said, I'm still connected with quite a few of the guys who I really did like, and they were really supportive of me. So I'm happy to talk to them about their fights or just talk about whatever. It's called MMA Storytime Podcast, but it doesn't have to be limited only to MMA. I'm happy. We talk about whatever. Yeah.
Gotcha. All right, make sure you check that out tomorrow. Sorry, I saw that. Click on it. I hate women who lead guys on this. Not the guy. Look what he said to me, dude. I saw those in the last week. I'm like, this quarantine's the worst thing that ever happened. Fucking to dudes that DM these and shit. It's fucking craziness. But anyway, all right, folks. We'll be back tomorrow night. Keyboard Warriors. Fred Kirby just We'll be talking UFC 249 and whatever we can squeeze, because you guys know limited as fuck right now. So we'll probably go off of some bullshit. Shout out to everyone to tune in tonight. Raider, MMA Gods, who else we have? Hey, Split Decision. Appreciate you hanging out. Van Shipman. EC, glad your dog's all right and everything. And everyone, they keep them healthy. All right. I know, like because she said she was worried that people were gonna say, oh, it's a family member. So
yeah. You know what I appreciate too about just kind of what goes on with the Keyboard Warriors community too. I mean, just everyone's really nice, and I'm not really one to really kind of talk a lot about myself like on Twitter and stuff. But there was this thread of dogs, and I don't have one unfortunately yet. But anyways, just things like that. I thought that was really cool. Everyone was kind of nice, and I like the community you guys have built, dude. It's really cool.
Appreciate it. No, we try to. I lucked out finding the cool people on MMA Twitter that like are nice there, and like once in a while we'll get a bad apple. They kind of see themselves out somehow. They just they ignored and squeezed out. So, but it's pretty cool. And so anyway, shout out to all you guys that watch. We appreciate the fuck out of it. Catch you guys tomorrow night for Keyboard Warriors. For myself, Dave Madden. Good night.
Yeah. Later, guys.
Sure.